Well, a call for an uprising is still freaking out, because that seems to be his baseline. So let's see what he's freaking out about today.
This is a call for an uprising. Welcome to today's show, and welcome those of you who are a part of cancel culture, the hot new term that everybody uses for censorship. Cancel culture. You know, the people who...
As I like to call it, consequence culture. You want to go be in a riot to try and overthrow the United States government? Okay, well, here are the consequences for those actions. Oh, you're gonna do some racist shit in public or on Twitter? Here are the consequences. No one wants to do business with you. It's not cancel culture. It's the natural consequences socially of your actions. Be an adult and recognize that your actions have consequences.
Cry and whine like cupcakes about anyone who has a difference of opinion than them. These same idiots out there who don't realize that once they wipe free speech away from people like me, it'll be wiped away from them. But this goes back.
It's not a free speech issue. YouTube, Twitter, etc. doesn't want your conspiracy garbage on their website. The government hasn't censored you. It's not a First Amendment issue. You're fine.
To 1984, like most things do, right?
Do you think a call for an uprising has actually read 1984? Just wondering. What are the chances?
For predictive programming, not much is more accurate than 1984.
My favorite part of 1984 is when that runner came in with the sledgehammer and swung it around and broke the TV. That's in the book, right? I actually haven't read 1984. I had to read Brave New World in school for our dystopian fiction standard. And yes, I know that's just an Apple ad. The hammer thing, I was making a joke.
84 to see where the world is headed in 2021. But one of the things in 1984, and I'm going to show you because it's fascinating, is the 2 minutes of hate, it's called. 2 minutes of hate is Big Brother riling up the zombies and the sheeps who have been herded in this herd community now, this herd reality, and gotten together and they listen to Big Brother because Big Brother is the one who takes care of them, right? Socialism. Big Brother's the one who feeds them. Big Brother's the one who provides them work.
It's definitely not supposed to be socialism because the author was a socialist, but okay. It's a stand-in for authoritarianism in general, not socialism, but okay.
Destroy the Constitution and destroy all the rights that people have in the book and in the film 1984. But what's funny about 1984 and the 2 minutes of hate is how accurate it is to what's going on right now with free speech and hate speech and cancel culture. Because all of these zombies have been riled up because of Big Brother, the media, and they've been told that we're the new enemy. No longer is it Al-Qaeda in the caves out there, the boogeyman, Osama. No. Suddenly, the new enemy of humanity has become people who have a difference of opinion.
Your difference of opinion is that you think the world is controlled by a bunch of pedophilic Satanists and you think vaccines are a way for Bill Gates to try and track you and control the population. That's not a difference of opinion. You've just been radicalized. You're a radical conspiracy theorist, and as we've seen as of late, that can lead to violent actions being taken. That's not just a difference of opinion. You're a radical, and not in the fun 90s way.
Us are the ones that they used to laugh at and say we're just lunatics and crazy people. Now we're threats, apparently. And these people can't put one and one together and realize the reason that Big Brother considers us a threat is that we're waking people up to the reality of the world.
No, it's because you're radicalizing more people into nonsense. And again, none of my opinion on this comes from the media. I don't watch CNN. I don't watch, like that kind of stuff regularly. I'll watch some coverage of stuff like Inauguration or whatever, but other than that, I get information from reading and stuff like that. I don't listen to news opinion very often. And sometimes I'll listen to, like, Twitch streams, but those aren't corporate media. Those are, independent people talking about things. Like the Surfs or whoever. I'm not getting my opinion on these things from these people. I'm taking in information and then synthesizing my own understanding and beliefs of them. Like, I look into conspiracy theories a lot for fun, not just here on stream, but I do so in my off time as well. My opinion on conspiracy theories and how they're dangerous and radicalize people into cutting well-meaning family members out of their life, who aren't, like, toxic. It's perfectly fine to cut toxic family members out of your life. What I'm saying is, like, people who get really into QAnon and decide to not talk to their family anymore and decide to start, radicalizing to the point they end up, like on the 6th, storming the Capitol and committing multiple felonies. Like, it's not good. This is a natural consequence of these things. Have you guys seen the QAnon website, like the greatawakening.win lately? They're still all in believing Trump is going to come back. And like, say, it was all a joke, I really won the election. Like, it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. All these anti-vax people becoming a public health nightmare because they've been indoctrinated by people like this with absolutely no medical knowledge into believing that jackasses on the internet know more than doctors. It's bad. It's real, real bad.
But instead they create fake psyops and all this stuff to bait people into thinking we're dangerous. Well, in this clip from 1984, you're going to see exactly what they do. And just picture the people that they're showing for them to hate and want to go against. It's really your face on that screen.
We'll watch a little bit, but I'm probably going to skim through it just because you guys get it.
Face on that screen, and anybody who questions the narrative of the mainstream media.
Vile and ruthless aggressors who have committed countless atrocities and who are guilty of every bestial crime a human being can commit. They waste our land, destroyed our factories, looted our homes, while our gallant forces are engaged in a life and death struggle. We face on the home front an enemy who is far more dangerous.
You know what's funny about this? This closer resembles the rhetoric that A Call for an Uprising uses than the mainstream media. Like, Call for an Uprising is the one who uses his platform to constantly, every single video, be like, it's them, they're destroying us, they're trying to track us with vaccines, they're ruining the world with their globalism. Like, his channel is the 2 minutes of hate. It's that, every day.
One of our own people. The arch-traitor Canada. This is the man, the leader of the underground, who betrayed our glorious revolution and would betray Big Brother.
We get it. Propaganda.
How realistic is that? Because the only reason that all of these people out there can't stand us is because the news media has constantly been talking about fake news over the last couple of years, because so many of us have exposed what's really going on, and the underworld, and the satanic underworld, really, and SRA and all of these things that they don't want out there. So they've taken these zombies and sheep who can't think freely and have no independent thought, and they've told them over and over through repetition, right, because that's the key to mind control, constantly beating into their heads, like I always say, which is the reason that you get schooled.
There are 4 lights!
Schooled for so long and learn the same nonsense over and over because they want to create a false reality in your mind of a world that exists when it doesn't exist, a false history of the world, false sciences, right? That's the reason that they use year after year after year of schooling. They want you raised by the institution, not raised by your family.
You can be raised by your family and go to school. What are you talking about?
They want you raised on lies and an illusion. So these same idiots that believe in Big Brother and believe in this Matrix beast system have just been getting force-fed this, reason to hate all of us, to lump us all into the Q crap, which all of us who are...
Because a lot of your beliefs are very similar to the QAnon beliefs. Now, as I understand, A Call for an Uprising disavows QAnon, which I find quite funny, and I wonder how much of it comes from legitimate disagreement, because they seem to believe in a lot of the same things. This idea that there's this false belief, let me be clear, that there's a group of like satanic pedophiles in the elite places of government and business and whatever that are eating children's adrenochrome to stay alive forever or whatever. Like the adrenochrome stuff, I don't think Call for an Uprising necessarily believes. But like a lot of the other stuff lines up with QAnon. So I'm wondering if it comes from a genuine dislike of QAnon, or if it more comes from he feels that QAnon's sort of in his territory, so to speak, in terms of the grift. Just my opinion, though. Who knows?
Wake called out from the get-go that it was a psyop created by the CIA, which is exactly what it is, lumped us into MAGA, lumped us into Trump, right? And lumped us in as being dangerous.
Again, a lot of people who are conspiracy theorists, especially people who are into QAnon, are Trump supporters. There's a huge correlation between those two things. It doesn't mean every conspiracy theorist is a Trump supporter, but right now, I would argue a good 70-something% of conspiracy theorists are probably Trump supporters. That's a number pulled, let me be clear, and I recognize this, completely out of, like, my ass, and from what I see anecdotally by visiting conspiracy theory places and listening to a lot of conspiracy theorists online and seeing what they have to say, the majority of them appear to be Trump supporters. Not all, but a majority.
So these people now want to take us away, and they want to take away our free speech. And they want to take away our rights. And Big Brother's going to reward them at the end of the day is what they think. But the only reward they're going to get is when they're bent over in the bottomless pit.
Honestly, that sounds pretty good to me. So, I'm game.
And Lucifer himself is taking you down the Hershey Highway.
Ooh, yes, Daddy Lucifer. Joke's on you. I'm into that shit. Don't look at my Monster Boy folder, okay? That's my own personal business.
Because there is going to be no reward. Sooner or later, they're going to lose free speech. So I was just watching clips from 1984, and I thought I'd share that with you because it's so true that all this hatred that people have for people like me and you is all brought on the same way that these 2 minutes of hate are brought on in 1984. Because they see on the news, they're constantly saying, oh, no one's going to get better from the outbreak because of these crazy conspiracies out there about what's happening to people or what, oh, they want a microchip, oh, right? And it gets people more and more mad because they want things to go back to the way they were. They want things to be normal again. They can't stand people that don't believe in Big Brother because they love and depend on Big Brother because they're all children. All of them. None of them have a pair of balls. None of them have... They're all cupcakes. They're all cupcakes. They flag videos. They flag free speech. They call Big Brother to come in and take it away. And that's exactly how this is going to continue on. There'll be more psyops that are created, and they'll blame it on people with, who create conspiracies, and they'll continue to censor people and take them away.
Yeah, because you're legitimately dangerous. And again, if you want to go stand on a public street corner and yell this stuff like people had to in the past, that's fine. But the internet's created a situation where you've actually successfully radicalized a lot of people to the point that it's dangerous, and they're starting to take violent action against others based on these completely false beliefs that you fed them. And I'm not putting this all at the feet of a call for an uprising. Of course not. There are tons of people online who are doing this stuff, from flat earthers to QAnon to call for an uprising, and all sorts of people like this. But a little responsibility falls at the feet of all of you. It's real bad.
Away. But like I said a million times, they're going to have to cut my head off to get me to shut up. I want to remind everyone, a place where there is complete free speech, my website at callforanuprising.com. It's $2.99 a month. The forum, again, check out the forum over there. I just put up a picture. Amazon's got this new building they're putting up. Unbelievable.
That's honestly a pretty sweet design for a building.
Does it look very familiar to the Tower of Babel?
No one... Okay, two things. Tower of Babel doesn't exist. It's a fictional story. And two, any depiction of the Tower of Babel is just that. It's a depiction. Whatever. It's also just a pretty sweet design for a building. So even if someone did go, hey, let's make a building that looks like the Tower of Babel, that's pretty sweet.
Nah. It's just really coolly designed, right? We are in the end times.
It does kind of look like, what are they called? What's that company that makes the Why can't I remember their name? They make sex toys that look like Bad Dragon, yeah, it looks like a Bad Dragon product turned into a building. A lot of people in my audience were very quick to know what I was talking about, which is very sus. I see you. I see all of you.
Folks, Babylon is rising. It is a frightening time to be alive. But check out the website if you haven't. I want to thank the patrons again. If you can become a patron, please consider doing so. You keep this channel going on YouTube. And without Patreon support, less and less content's going to be made on here. And I don't have that many patrons anyway, so I don't know how much longer I'll be on here. So consider that as well. And the merchandise store, the Teespring store, is available for anyone that wants to get something, a t-shirt or something like that. It helps promote the channel. In a world where, you know, channels like this are censored from anyone finding out about our existence, it helps. It goes.
Oh God, someone buy me that A Call for an Uprising mug. I want it. I want to sip tea out of my Call for an Uprising mug while I make fun of him.
A long way. So thank you guys again for your support. 2 minutes of hate, huh? Whew. I mean, a lot longer. Well, 2 minutes of hate, I guess, is a lot better than eternity in hell. That's for sure. Thank you again for listening. God bless all of you and your families.
So that's A Call for an Uprising. He's still, you know, freaking out about stuff.
If you've ever had this
He's posting like multiple videos per day now. He is freaking out.
I had mentioned that I was going to do a video just to show people how did we get to this point with everything going on in the world. Well, there's lots of ways, really, but one could point a finger directly at fluoride. Because we live in such a passive society, a lethargic society, where people are just getting stomped on by Big Brother and don't seem to care. As the media continues to contradict every word they say over and over, as per masks, as per the things, the side effects that people are getting, as per all these new variants that are popping up, everybody just shrugs their shoulders and gets beat up and says, okay, as businesses close, as people lose money. And you have to look no further than fluoride. Now, before I get into it, I want to remind everyone to check.
Fluoride is in toothpaste. Some municipalities, I think, have actually stopped doing the fluoridated water, specifically because it's in so many... It's in basically every toothpaste, unless you're very specifically looking for a non-fluoride toothpaste.
Check out the website at callforunuprising.com. I have a video going up there today, which is absolutely hilarious. Will blow your mind, who was nominated for a Nobel Peace Prize. Now, of course, if you have it, $2.99 a month, check it out. Binge, but also make you laugh. For those of you who aren't aware, fluoride has been dumped in our water now for quite some time.
Yeah, it strengthens the enamel on your teeth and it's fine. There have been plenty of studies on fluoridization of water. It's fine.
Fluoride...
It's good for your teeth. Again, there are people who've said at this point it's potentially redundant because of the fluoridization of toothpaste, and maybe that's true, I don't know. But there's nothing wrong with fluoride. It's fine to put in water.
Is a chemical that does a lot of bad things to you, including cancer-causing things, including infertility stuff.
Basically, everything can cause cancer in high enough amounts. like everything causes cancer if you're exposed to enough of it. The sun will give you cancer if you get too much of it. Like, anything can give you cancer.
Type stuff. You notice how more and more people aren't able to have kids and reproduce, and one of their goals is what? To depopulate? That doesn't have anything to do with one another. They don't correlate at all.
That'd be population control as a motive on the bingo card. Forced sterilization, population control as a motive. Yeah. Why can't I click on the things? There we go. Being alive causes cancer? Yeah, on a long enough time scale, everyone would get cancer.
But the main thing really that should concern people about fluoridation in the water is the fact that people like Stalin were doing this.
I think Stalin probably also wore pants. That doesn't mean pants are evil, you know what I mean? Like Hitler and the Nazi Party had one of the world's first anti-smoking campaigns. That doesn't mean smoking is good just because they were against it, right? You know what I'm saying? You hear the saying about broken clocks being right twice a day? Ask Dave about that one. He knows something about broken clocks.
To their, to his people like that guy with the mustache. If you don't remember him? Yeah, they were putting fluoride in the water, testing it on people like lab rats. And they noticed that they became very, very calm.
Source?
And very, very lethargic. And there was no rebellion in them from the effects of the fluoride on their brain. They noticed that people were becoming more and more weak, mentally weak.
So does it call for an uprising not brush his teeth or what? Just because, like, the vast majority of toothpaste has fluoride in it now. So is he just, like, straight up like, no, I'm not going to brush my teeth. I'll show you the government.
Now, in addition to fluoride being in the water, our government has admitted that aluminum is in our water. Aluminum, the same stuff that they dump on us from the skies. Now, why is aluminum bad? Well, aluminum is something that can lead and causes autism. And why is there such a skyrocket in these diseases over the last 50?
That's chemtrails, by the way, on the bingo card. The thing being dropped on us, that would be chemtrails. Where's chemtrails in the bingo card? 18. Cool. We're getting a lot of bingo spaces today.
Years. Oh, because it's just the way nature goes? Or is it because they're putting chemical compounds in our food and water and causing us to be this way? Now, you might say, how does this all correlate with the world we're living in now? Well, it correlates because people just don't care anymore. They're rolling over, or should I say bending over, to Big Brother. They've even admitted to putting...
He has such a weird obsession with sodomy. Very strange. That dude Zoot with 60... Oh, well, I'm not doing bit messages yet. I guess I should wait.
Chlorine in our water. That's right, chlorine. The same thing that's in your pool. The same thing they tell you not to drink.
Kids love to stay cool in the pool, but doctors are warning parents to be sure their children aren't drinking the water. A couple of swallows are harmless, but ingesting too much can cause chlorine poisoning.
Did you hear that part? That's the important part. A couple swallows won't, hurt you. I mean, it's not great for you. And the using chlorine or anything like that as like a water purifier, it's not ideal, but in some places it gets used. This actually ties into MMS, by the way, if you've heard of that conspiracy alt medicine bullshit. It's basically just bleach. MMS is it was called Miracle Mineral Solution, but it's just an industrial bleach, basically. And in some undeveloped countries, it's been used for sterilization of water. If you have a big thing of water, you put a very little small amount of this bleach and mix it in with the rest of the water, and it can help purify it and kill bacteria and stuff in the water. But a bunch of idiots, some of them evangelicals, decided that all of a sudden, if we drink this straight up without diluting it, or diluting it almost not at all, then it can cure everything. And it's a whole bunch of bullshit. It's just absolute bullshit. They're having people drink bleach. The point being that there are certain things that when used in very, very small doses can be beneficial. But if you use them or drink them or whatever in a high enough dose, then it's bad.
Bacterial.
Even drinking too much water will kill you at a certain point, is my point.
Infections or even secondary drowning if a child inhales water into their lungs. Doctors at Bay State Medical Center say there are some symptoms that you can look out for.
Headaches, fevers, diarrhea, rashes. In fact, we just recently, within the past 2 months, have had a child hospitalized at Bay State Children's Hospital with this diagnosis.
So I'm going to show you some video clips here of just how these safety videos that Big Brother used to roll out to make people feel like, ooh, water's going to help my teeth and I'll have nice teeth. Meanwhile, they don't even mention how they just dump all these processed sugars inside of everything, and that's why people have tooth decay in the first place. and the fact that fluoride does nothing.
The United States government doesn't do that. Although we can talk about corn and corn syrup subsidies. That's certainly a discussion. But like Nestle or whoever, or Kraft Foods putting sugar in stuff, yeah, that's a private company thing most of the time. They happen to do it because it makes things sweet cheaply, because again, the subsidies by the United States government, and it makes foods more addicting. Welcome to America.
Nothing to prevent it. What it does is it weakens a society. And that's why people just continue to shrug it off, not care, and do nothing about it, because they've been drugging us and getting away for far too long. And for the people out there who go, the anti-conspiracy people who still are okay with fluoride in the water because they're so stupid.
Yeah, again, if it was more cost-effective to not do it, since, again, all toothpaste has fluoride. Again, if a studies basically showed, hey, we don't really need to do this anymore because it's more effective to just put it in the toothpaste, that would be fine too. Whatever.
They go, it's just a small trace. It's not something that's going to affect you. Well, let me tell you this. If you gave me your cup of coffee this morning and I put a small dose of rat poison in it that wouldn't officially kill you, would you still drink it?
To prove a point to you, if it was in the same dosage relative to the size of the liquid I was drinking, then yes, sure. If you want to put 0.0000001% or whatever of rat poison in my tea just to show you how stupid you're being about fluoride, sure, fine.
Oh, no, I wouldn't call. Oh, okay, but they're not the same thing. And why is that? Is aluminum good for you? Are these types of chemicals good for you? No, they're not. They even tell you that they can kill you if taken too high of a dosage.
Anything can kill you if taken at too high of a dose. That's how it works.
But the same can be said for rat poison. I'm sure you wouldn't want that in your water, now would you? Take a look at some of these clips and tell me this is not absolutely comical how they play off and get away with this stuff.
I live in Grand
It's Michigan! Okay.
Rapids, Michigan. Population 100 the Lower Peninsula, 30 miles from Lake Michigan. Grand Rapids is a typical Midwestern city, sharing the problems and joys of every other American city. It's called the furniture capital of the world. However, our industry is not restricted to furniture. Our manufacturers are known corporations, being built adjacent to some beautiful older areas. We're proud of our churches. We're proud of our schools and the far-sighted program of our boards of education. We are proud of our children and look forward to their future. We're especially concerned with their safety and health. We guard them against disease and accidents.
Look at all these white people that are allowed at the pool.
We protect our children through safety programs. Not a child has been killed on his way to or from school in 21 years.
I mean, that's good. What the fuck happened 21 years ago? Was that such a common thing in, like, the 50s that we had to be like, and not a single child has died walking to school in 2 decades? Oh, is that a concern I should have? Oh, God. Okay. Wowzers. Ooh, I like that kid's bike, though. He's got, like, a Pee Wee Herman bike.
I was particularly pleased when my daughter came home and told me that she had had her teeth examined in school. The next time I visited my dentist, he told me about the dental decay studies conducted in Grand Rapids by the United States Public Health Service, the University of Michigan, and the Michigan Department of Health. The water supply for Grand Rapids comes from Lake Michigan, about 30 miles west of Grand Rapids, where an intake pipe is located about a mile out in the lake. A pumping station sends the water toward Grand Rapids, where a second pumping station boosts the water load along its way to the city. These pumps can deliver 60 million gallons of water a day to our filtration plant. The superintendent explains to us that alum, charcoal, and chlorine are added to the water.
They filter the water and then they put fluoride in it. We get it. I'm not going to watch this whole video. But you understand. They put fluoride in the water for your teeths.
The decay rate decreases and on the way to school. We guard.
And this is the world we live in, folks. This is 2020. This is why we have what we have going on right now, right? They got away with doing this. They put a little fancy music behind it. They tell you Big Brother is behind it and supports it and wants to help everyone, you know, be healthy and safe. And they want your kids not to get cavities. Meanwhile, they don't tell you the other effects of what it does to the human body. They've been poisoning us for a long time, from the skies, in our food.
Side effects from fluoride in water are incredibly rare and don't really happen in any statistically significant way. It's fine, which is why water fluoridization is like one of the most common municipal programs in the world, right? Like, this isn't an America-centric thing. Almost every developing and developed country in the world, if they have what's the word I'm thinking of? If they have a municipal water service and they have an amount of money to put into public health, they put fluoride in the water because it's a simple, well-understood, safe way to help people, like, have stronger enamel and stuff on their teeth or whatever. It's fine. There's nothing wrong with water fluoridization.
And specifically in our water, which is a life force. Right? You can't live without water, can't live without food, can't live without breathing air. And they poisoned all of it. This is called biological warfare. And this is the perfect storm they have created right now. And you're seeing the results of the years and years of fluoridation on our society, because you could just tell that nobody cares, nobody rebels, everybody just shrugs their shoulders. Going on a year now of this stuff, and people are broke, people are homeless. They're telling us what we can and can't say.
Who's telling what you can and can't say in public? We're not talking about, like YouTube. YouTube has TOS. They're a private company. They can determine who's on their service.
It's just absolutely sickening. If people would just wake up to it. Now, if you're somebody out there who is wondering what you could do, obviously there's fluoride filters. I use a fluoride filter. That's something you could talk about over on the website. People can give you links to ones that they use or talk to you.
Is that even a thing that you can do? Hold on. Fluoride filter. Because it seems to me that fluoride is such a small amount in the water. How would you filter that out? You know what I mean? I'm just wondering. No, that's like a hardcore filtration system. This one might do something. But, like, these things aren't going to do it. Maybe one of these big-ass things that has, like, a bunch of layers of filtration. I have no idea.
You about it in the forum section over on the website.
The Otaku X has
if
bingo.
If you need help with that type of information or want to learn more about it. So check out the website if you haven't. And again, I want to thank everyone for being here.
Can I get a link to your bingo
card then? This is the new world order, folks. It's here, and it ain't going away. Thank you again for listening. God bless all of you and your families.
Okay, so that's a call for an uprising. Again, silly as usual, paranoid as usual, and pretty ignorant in regard to how basically everything works. So that's nice. Moving on, let's check this bingo.